Come on, free smoke. Bring it. Free smoke, bring it. Come on. Let me put some music on. Though. Come get this free smoke since you want to go viral off my videos, though, bro. How you can go viral off my own video? And I only got like maybe 2,000 views, if that. I don't even know how to pronounce your last name. Ben, whatever the hell. Ben Lion. What the fuck your name is, bro? At the end of the day, look, bro. You can call me what you want. Just make sure you pay me. Because you sure did pay me attention. So I need that check that you making off of my video. Right? You got over 60,000 views on the video. Let me get my check. Come on, bro. I appreciate you tagging my video in your description, but still, I need all mines. Like, how you gonna profit off my demise, bro? Man, if y'all don't stop playing with me. So just to show y'all what the hell I'm talking about, I'm gonna go to the video. Of this guy call himself talking down on me, right?
Are you looking to start your own business? Well, look no further than busy.com. Right now, we'll complete your
May I ask why you put your gloves on?
Just because
you kind of making me nervous.
I'm bare skinned and I'm out in the sun. I don't get my hands sunburned.
And then look him pulling up the way he pulling up. Okay. What are you doing? What are you doing? Like, bro, be fucking for real, dog. Let's see what he said on this video that he made.
Welcome back to the Balion.
Like, I should get you for copyright infringement, bro. My name is copyrighted.
Learns the habit. The right to travel script he's been preaching on YouTube and TikTok for the last year doesn't work in the real world.
Doesn't work in the real world.
Arrested by a no-nonsense Henderson police officer for suspended plates. Right, let's get into the video.
I'm doing fine.
Well, hey, I'm Officer Nelson with the police department. The reason why I stopped you being your place.
He said you're being
Hey, actually not. They're expired. Excuse me.
They're not expired. I got the paper at the house. It was paid for. The thing is, I had needed to get a swab. A swab, and then bring it back. Cause I got it from my uncle in California.
That's a cool story, bro. But I don't think this officer is buying.
What's up, Amber?
You know what else he's not buying? The right to travel script.
The right to travel script. Okay. Hold on. The right to travel. So the right to travel, let's get to it. Let's get in details on what the right to travel means. If you've ever looked up, what's it called? Murdoch versus Pennsylvania, it literally was a Supreme Court ruling that said every American has the right to travel freely. It's their God-given rights. It's not a privilege. But it's a privilege to drive, but it's not a privilege to travel. Because when you have a driver's license, a driver's license like what you use to operate in commerce for taxi services or business use, what I did wasn't for business use. I was simply traveling to the post office and I get stopped by this tyrant officer for one. So for you guys to even try to come for me like how y'all came for me under his video and under my video, I want all the smoke because don't think I'm not going to bust back. Don't think I'm just let that shit slide and let y'all talk shit about me, bro. You gonna talk shit about me when I got proof that what I do works. If you look at the video on my YouTube channel, this was at nighttime. I got pulled over by the police, and this was in San Bernardino County, kind of going towards Barstow just before you get to Vegas. I was pulled over by an officer. I was in my rental car. I wasn't even in my car that I had in that last video where I got pulled over by the police, but I was in my rental car. And I showed this man my what's it called? The international driver's license. I showed it to the police officer. But guess what it said on the address? It said, what was it? Non-domestic for the address, right? And then they had like, I can't even remember, y'all. Hold on, I can't even remember because they stole my my driver's license, my international driver's license. I forgot what it showed on there. Matter of fact, let me look on my phone. I'm gonna just look in my gallery because I got a picture of my international driver's license in my gallery. I don't remember what it said on there. They stole it from me when I got pulled over in Vegas, like last month. Okay, I found it. So look at that. What that say? Look at this international driver's license. It says rule-free delivery, non-domestic, and then the state of California. And then for the zip code, all zeros. In order for an officer to have jurisdiction to even stop you, there has to be an address on your driver's license. Without an address, they have no jurisdiction. So the simple fact that when I'm traveling on public roadways as a private American, not a U.S. citizen. And for those of you ignorant fucks that was like, oh, well, during these times, saying that you're not a U.S. citizen, oh, you can get caught up with ICE. Like, bro, ain't nobody worried about ICE. Just because I said I'm not a U.S. citizen don't mean I'm not from the United States of America. What I meant by that statement was the simple fact, as a private American national or private American, I have the right to travel freely. U.S. citizens are District of Columbia district citizens who have no rights protected under the original Constitution. What don't you get about that? For y'all to try to like just insult my intelligence and call me dumb and all this other nonsense that y'all was saying on my video and on dude video, bro. I want all the smoke. I'm gonna bust back straight up. This is all the free smoke y'all gonna get, because after I address this, I'm not gonna address it or give it no more attention. But I just need y'all to stop trying to clown me because I know my rights as an American, not as a U.S. citizen. And the fact that people who know this. So I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of literature on this live. Okay. So there's an ebook that I read called Living in the Private. Okay? Living in the Private. This is the first book I ever got my hands on in regards to this. And for those of y'all who keep calling people sovereign citizens, you know that's defamation of character. You know you can get sued and have a lawsuit and cease and desist letter on your door for calling somebody a sovereign citizen. Did you know that? Did you know that? So y'all better be mindful of what y'all say on the internet, because it can cost you a whole lot of money. And I'm about ready to just start sending all those letters out. I'll find out where you live. I promise you, I'll find out where you live. Don't ever call me a sovereign citizen. A sovereign citizen is a terrorist, an enemy of the state. I'm not a terrorist, nor am I an enemy of the state. So don't ever fix your mouth to call me a sovereign citizen. Sovereign and citizen don't even go together. Those are oxymorons. You're either a sovereign or you're a citizen. You can't be both. Literally, by being sovereign, because we live in a sovereign nation, just like the UK where you're from is a sovereign nation, but yet again, y'all don't know y'all fucking rights. For the people who do know what sovereign means, it means a man of God, right? So a man of God with free will to do what he please, who's not governed by a government, a man who governs himself, right? Do y'all not get that? Or do y'all just think y'all can just talk down on people and get away with it? Like, okay, so the Living in Private ebook. The Living in Private ebook. This ebook right here. Hold up. Let me flip my camera around. Hold on. So the living in a private ebook, what does this say? Educate yourself, ask questions, verify everything. Disclaimer, notice, this content is provided for educational purposes, omissions, and errors accepted, and is not illegal or lawful advice. It's not illegal or lawful advice, but still, half of the things that were said in this ebook really make sense. That's the reason why I stand on what I say. When I say I have the right to travel freely, I meant that, and I still gonna stand on that. And when I go to court for that incident with dude getting my car towed and wrongfully, unlawfully arresting me with no probable cause, because last time I checked, I didn't break not one law. It's not a law that states that you need registration. There's not a law that states that you need a driver's license. It's not a law that states that you need to have insurance. That's usury. That's something that was created for people to be controlled. I'm not the one to be controlled. So make sure that you, before you come for somebody, that they're not incompetent. Because I'm not incompetent. You come for the incompetent ones, not me. Okay? So this says in the private, every natural man and woman is born in the private, whereas a sovereign government of the people is a public institution and therefore is public service, and its various artificial creations are in the public, including artificial legal persons. A man or woman can either live in the private or act in the public. However, we are trained from an early age to accept a higher authority as normal. Most people exist in a culture of submission and conformity, allowing numerous aspects of their lives to be controlled by the government. The populace is manipulated to become a dependent, debt money, and conditioned to become fearful, racism, terrorism, and wars. The manner and appearance of authority is usually intimidating by design, while the language of legal fiction, commerce, legalese, is deceptive. You are indoctrinated to act in the role of a legal person, which is an artificial creation of the state, and a debtor serving as surety for the corporate debt of your nation. An artificial legal person is dead and under the foreign and mighty maritime jurisdiction. The international law of the sea, on the contrary, you are born into your own sovereign estate of body, mind, and soul. Let me repeat that. You are born into your own sovereign estate of body, mind, and soul. So the fact that you have a estate that was created when your birth certificate was signed by your mother. When your mother signed your birth certificate, she signed as an informant, which made you a bastard, which made you a ward of the state, which made you property of the state. By you not claiming your estate, that makes it where they can treat you like chattel. They can trade you on the market to where that number that's on the back of your social security card or that bond number that's on the front of your birth certificate, that's the stock number. So the fact that everyone born in America has a stock number on the back of their birth certificate, that lets you know they treat you as property or chattel. Now, what I want to show y'all is the fact that I do have an estate and I do have a trust. So what I want to do is show my irrevocable trust. Let me see if I can find it. Matter of fact, it's right here. It's in this envelope right here. Okay. Also, I have what's called my authenticated birth certificate. So that estate that you said doesn't exist, or that trust that you said that doesn't exist, here's my authenticated birth certificate. I was born in the state of California, right? Here is my irrevocable trust, Michael Lang Trust, Michael Lang Living Trust, right? Oh, so you said I didn't have a trust that existed, right? I didn't have a trust that existed. I want to read this out loud to you too, because like I said, I want all the smoke. I want all the fucking smoke, right? Y'all came for me now. You done woke up the monster. You don't woke up a beast, bro. Like I'm not playing. I'm showing nothing but factual evidence. So look, Look, what that say? What that say? What that say? Certificate. The local registration district and certificate number. That's a bond number. If you go to treasurydirect.com or no, treasurydirect.gov / I think it's BC/SBC price. If I type this number in, this bond number for my birth certificate, if I type that in on treasurydirect.gov, it would literally show that I've been traded on the stock market. So let's do that. Let's do that. Since y'all want to come for me, and since you saying the trust don't exist, right? You said the trust don't exist. Okay. Okay, let's show factual evidence since the trust don't exist. So where we going? Treasury, what? Treasury.gov or treasurydirect.gov / BC / SBC price. We going right there, right? So what? So I will use the EE bonds, right? The bond serial number. I'm gonna type that in. I'm gonna type in my bond number for my birth certificate. Since you said the trust don't exist, right? The trust don't exist, right? Hold on. The trust don't exist. Is this something made up? Now I'm gonna put my month and year of my birth. Because the trust don't exist, and I'm just a dude that's going based off fabricated lies, huh? Fabricated lies, huh? With that say, I just showed the number of fuck it. Y'all see the bond number. The bond number is 0105595. Right? Y'all see how much it's worth? The interest is $57.06. The value is $82.06. But you said the trust don't exist though, right? That's my estate. That's the interest that was created because I reached age of majority, right? I reached age of majority, right? I'm 31 years old. So therefore, I'm not incompetent. I can claim my estate. I'm old enough to claim my estate. I could have claimed my estate at 25. I figured this out at the age of, I want to say about 27 or 28. When I learned about this, I studied it to a T, so I didn't sound like I didn't know what the hell I was talking about. I got all the literature for you. So look, that trust you said that didn't exist. Okay, so now let's go back to your video. This nonsense you speak of, right? Let's keep going.
Registration proof insurance, please.
I don't operate in commerce. I'm traveling. I'm not driving.
Okay, sounds good. Do you have anything with you that says this is your vehicle?
Oh yeah. Well, not with me, but I do have the paperwork at the house. I just didn't. Ashley Hawkins, you shut up. You can go. You can get off my live.
BS at home, don't you think?
Okay, sounds good. So, as a lawful operator on a
he can't even talk.
On a public roadway, yeah, you have to possess insurance, registration, and have a driver's license.
Yeah, this car is self-insured, and then
I can't hear you, sir.
I think you can hear me. This car. What was that nonsense y'all was talking about on my video, though, right? Some sovereign citizen bullshit.
Dealing with insurance isn't stressful enough.
So the thing about it, you don't need insurance to operate an automobile, right? You don't need insurance. So what I'm gonna do, the next website I'm gonna go to is gsa.gov, right? gsa.gov. We going to gsa.gov. See, y'all didn't even know nothing about this. We're gonna type in forms. gsa.gov. So when we type in forms, we're going to go to GSA Forms Library. Officers do have GSA bonds. They have surety bonds. Anytime that they're booking you into the jail, they creating bond numbers. When they create these bond numbers, it's so they can be able to bank off of your name. If I was to get a citation, that is a bond number with that citation. So let's say I get a ticket. the ticket is $250, but the bond is worth $2.5 million. So whenever you see the bond number on that ticket, look it up. You'll see for yourself what it's worth. And guess what? You can be able to get 10% of that. 10% with standard form 1047. What I'm about to do right now to show that y'all don't need insurance is I'm about to look up a GSA bond. So standard form, right? Standard form 91. Standard form 91. Well, what's standard? Let's say motor vehicle accident crash, right? This this for the people who are self-insured through their estate. The people who are self-insured through their estate can use this to be able to pay for whatever that they need to pay for as far as collision, or if it's not their fault and someone else did a hit and run, they're allowed to fill out this form and process it with the division that processes these. So look, what that say? Motor vehicle accident crash report, right? It says instructions, section 1 through, I think I said section 4, IX. I don't know how to read Roman numbers. Excuse me. It says filled out by the vehicle operator, section X, which is section 5. Items 73 through 83C are filled out by the operator supervisor. Section XI through X3 are filled out by a crash investigator for bodily injury, fatality, and or damage exceeding 500. This is why you don't need insurance. This is what you fill out when you don't have insurance. Matter of fact, I bet y'all didn't know when you do have a driver's license, I bet you didn't know that driver's license was an insurance policy. I bet you didn't know that it was bonded. But I don't know shit, right? I'm just some ignorant ass sovereign citizen. That's what you said, right? So it says driver's name, driver's license number, or state ID, date of crash, right? That's in box 3. Box 4A, department / federal agency permanent office address, right? Telephone number, email address, tag or identification number, estimated repair costs. Why would I ask for the estimated repair costs? Oh yeah, that's because you can use a surety bond to be able to pay for whatever damages is to your car or the person who you cause injury to, the injured party, right? Okay, but I don't know nothing. The year of the vehicle, make and model, that's in box 7, 8, and 9, right? Box 6 says estimated repair costs. Describe vehicle damage. You can describe it for section 11 or box 11. Box 12, the driver's name, so the other party, right? You put their information, all that. And you get to determine whether it was a rental, lease, or privately owned. Why does it have the option for privately owned? What does privately owned mean? Oh, that's right. That means that you can have private property. You can have private plates. You can be able to travel freely because it's privately owned. Anything that's protected under a trust, you're allowed to have. But you didn't know that, though. You didn't know that. Poor Tink, for all the ignorant imbeciles that came on my video and his video talking nothing but nonsense. Let me see some facts behind what you talking about. Because the insults, like, I don't, like, I find it funny, bro. I find it very funny because y'all talk out of y'all ass. Y'all can't even give factual evidence. Okay, so what we gonna do next? Since we found out we don't need insurance and that we can use surety bonds to be able to file for collateral damage, right? Okay. Now, next thing we're gonna go to Google one more time. Do your own proper due diligence and research before you ever try to come for me. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna look up Murdoch versus Pennsylvania. What's that? What's that? So it says in the 1943 case, Murdoch versus Pennsylvania, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that a municipal ordinance requiring a license tax for religious colporteurs was unconstitutional. Unconstitutional. The case involved Jehovah's Witness Robert Murdoch, who was arrested and fined for selling religious text doors to door in Jeanette, Pennsylvania without a solicitation license. A license, right? A license, though. So we're going to look further into that. Murdoch versus Pennsylvania. A municipal ordinance. I don't know how to pronounce that. Don't make fun of me, though. Which was construed and applied, requires religious corporators to pay a license tax as a condition to pursuit of their activities is invalid under federal constitution as a denial of freedom of speech, press, and religion. PP 319 US 108-110. The mere fact that a religious literature is sold rather than donated does not transform the activities of culture into a commercial enterprise. Upon a record in these cases, it cannot be said that the Jehovah's Witnesses were engaged in a commercial rather than in a religious venture. So there's another Supreme Court ruling that I want to look up real quick. So I'm gonna show y'all the letter that I wrote to Las Vegas PD, right? Well, not to Las Vegas PD, but to the courthouse. Let me look it up real quick. Okay, letter to courthouse. Where is it at? I'm just gonna pull this one up right here. Okay, Clark County Customer Service Department or Legal Department. Dear Sir/Madam, I, Michael Lang, am the account holder. So that's the bond number for the ticket, right? With your financial institution, I am writing to formally request a redemption of lawful money for all credits on my account, including any past, present, and future transactions that have been processed using Federal Reserve notes. As per my right under 12 U.S.C. Section 411, request for redemption and lawful money. Pursuant to 12 U.S.C. Section 411, I hereby exercise my right to redeem Federal Reserve notes that have been deposited into and withdrawn from my account in lawful money. I specifically request that the following actions be taken by my institution. Redemption of all past and present transactions. I demand all credits and debits on my account, including those processed via debit card transactions or credit card transactions, be classified and treated as redeemed in lawful money. Now, the whole purpose of me doing this, right, is because the fact that they're banking off of my name. They created a bond with using my name, right? So I was trying to find that other letter. I think it might be on my iPhone, actually. It might be on the iPhone that I'm going live with. So I gotta find it. Wait. It's somewhere. It's on the other device. I might have to airdrop it. I'm gonna pause this real quick. Hold on, y'all. Y'all stay with me. Okay, I can't. Hold on. Listen, door knocking, driving though. What are you talking about? You spelled sovereign citizen wrong, silly. It don't matter. There's no such thing as a sovereign citizen. So this is my letter to Henderson um, Justice Court or Municipal Court. I said, I, Michael Lane, live in trust and the implied surety beneficiary heir of Michael Lane, to whoever this may concern. I am a living man of God. For the record, would like to request punitive damages for the absence of my private property, such as automobile that was taken from me and impounded on 21st of March of 2025. around 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time from the officer on duty, which I would like to request his fire information and bond of oath. Okay. So look, hold on. I'm gonna show y'all something else. So y'all don't be sharing other videos where people actually get away with what they know. What they don't, it's not getting away because it's the law, period. But there's a page that I follow on Instagram where I want to show y'all a video of something that really I think y'all should really do your own fucking research on, right? Since people are sovereign citizens, like y'all say. Where that video at? Where it's at? Here we go.
Hey, I'm at the Orlando Police Department. You have every right. Are you Miss Vanessa? I'm sorry? Are you Miss Vanessa? Who's asking? Me. Why? There's much more to this interaction than meets the eye. At first glance, it seems like the officer is simply trying to identify me. In reality, he's prompting me to acknowledge that I am the corporate entity registered in their system through my license. Statutory law governs corporate legal entities, not living individuals. By answering yes, I would be voluntarily consenting to be subject to statutory laws rather than constitutional.
You're a fucking clown, Stacking King. You can get the fuck off my live, piece of shit.
State-granted privileges. That's why I avoid answering the question directly. Well, I need to know why you stopped me. Okay, the reason I'm pulling you over is because 1, your license is suspended. 2, your tag expired.
Oh, then wasn't her license suspended like mine?
I just need your license and registration, please. Well, here's the thing. I'm not operating in commerce, so I'm literally traveling to my house. Here.
You the one coming on my live, insulting me. Talking about real mature, buddy.
Driver states. Driver, one employed in conducting a coach, carriage, wagon, or other vehicle. Keyword is employed. Therefore, the term driver imply engaging in commerce, meaning the person is using a motor vehicle for business purposes. That's not what's happening here. Okay, so do you want to give me...
I wasn't using my automobile for business purposes.
I'm sorry? Your fire information, your bond. You're probably wondering, what the heck is she talking about? Let me break it down in a nutshell. Many city and state police departments are registered as corporations, which can be verified in business registries like Dun and Bradstreet. If they are corporations, they are not acting as constitutional peace officers, but rather as corporate employees enforcing statutory rules, contracts, rather than protecting constitutional rights. Statutory law is not true constitutional law. Police officers are effectively operating under a foreign jurisdiction, that is, maritime admiralty or international commercial law. Under the Foreign Agents Registration Act, FARA, anyone acting on behalf of a foreign principal must register as a foreign agent, since corporate governments allegedly operate under foreign jurisdiction. For example, IMF, United Nations, or international banking systems. Police officers enforcing statutory laws should technically be required to register under FARA. Now, in regards to the bond, aka surety bond, public officials, including law enforcement, must carry surety bonds as a condition of their employment. Why? Well, if a police officer violates someone's constitutional rights or acts outside their lawful authority, an individual can file a claim against their bond, potentially holding them personally liable rather than just their department. This is a mild warning to the officer that if he violates my rights, I will go after his bond, where he could potentially lose his badge. If the cop has no valid surety bond, the officer is acting outside lawful authority, making their enforcement actions void. By asking these questions, I'm verifying that the officer says who he says he is before we can proceed. I need to know that you are in fact a police officer. Okay, I am a police officer now. I need you to call your sheriff. The sheriff is a constitutional officer because the office of the sheriff originates from common law. The sheriff's primary duty is to uphold the Constitution and protect the rights of the people.
Oh yeah, bring that shit. Hold on. Hey, don't make no threats you can't keep, bruh. You come over here thinking you finna knock somebody out, you gonna find out the hard way, doggy yo. Stacking King, bro. I'm down for the squabble, bro. I don't turn down no phase. So don't write a check that your ass can't cash, nigga. I am not playing with you, bro. I'll beat the fuck out of you. I don't care how big you is. I'll take whoever, bro. Come to Vegas, bring your ass on, bro. Stop talking shit. Y'all be having them Twitter fingers on fucking social media, but can't talk nothing but back it up. Y'all motherfuckers can't back shit up. Y'all just talk shit out your ass. Here y'all is talking about what I'm saying is ignorant. But yet again, you ain't did no case studies on none of this information. You ain't did no case studies on none of this information, but y'all want to talk shit about me. Ignorant ass, racist ass motherfuckers. Fuck is wrong with y'all? Get your mind right. I'm not even gonna go over the video. So look, the living in the private ebook. Now, if what I'm saying is nonsense or wrong, why would this information be available to the public eye? Why would it be available if it was nonsense? Okay, so look, I'm gonna skip through. I'm gonna read through this, but I'm gonna skip because I want to get to the part. I'm gonna get to the part where it talks about something that y'all seem to not get or understand. Um, so dead or alive, law at sea, law of the sea. I mean, in maritime jurisdiction, statutes, acts, rules, codes, law of the land, common law jurisdiction, do no harm. Was he doing no harm? Was he a peace officer? I don't think he was, because I asked for his badge number. I asked for his name. I also asked for his supervisor. Did he give me that? No, he did not. Okay, let's keep going. Dead legal personality registered. Living lawful man says woman recorded. So anything that's registered is property of the state. Anything that's recorded is free. It's a living man or woman, a free sovereign man or woman. Okay, public servant, bonded. Wasn't they just talking about the surety bond? The surety bond, right? She requested the officer of surety bond on that video that I just watched. Private sovereign, free, right? Public capacity, limited. Private capacity, unlimited. I told that man I was traveling in my private capacity. I wasn't driving, I was traveling. Legal privileges, benefits granted and revocable. Lawful rights, properties inherited, inviolable. Legislated rights prescribed by the state. It's not a privilege for me to travel. It's a God-given right. Okay? Unalienable rights cannot be alienated. Debtor, liable for debts. Creditor, creator of wealth. Trust, trustee, always pays. Trust beneficiary, always benefits. My automobile is in my trust name. I have proof that the registration was not expired. I mailed off the paperwork to the DMV because my car, right? I had to get it smogged. As I mentioned in the video, I had to get my car smogged. The registration was paid for, but I never went back to the California DMV to get my car tags because I live in Nevada. So I decided, hey, I'll handle that in Nevada at the DMV. I'm not going to waste my time going through California and have California plates. I'd rather have Nevada plates. But instead of having state plates, I'm going to have private plates. Okay? So let's keep going. Accommodation party, debtor. Secure party, creditor. Legal commerce, vessel on the sea. Lawful trade, man, woman on the land. Signature, fiction, John Henry Doe. Autograph, fact, by John Henry Doe, all rights reserved. Exactly. You're allowed to travel. I told him I was traveling. I was going from A to B. I did not once say I was driving. I wasn't operating in commerce. So there's something else that I want to show y'all. Something else that I want to show y'all. So it says universal law, laws of God, creator, universe. Natural law, laws of nature. Common law, private. Cause no harm, loss, or fraud to other living souls. Did that officer do that? He caused harm to my estate. So you know what I did? I filed a tort claim. Standard Form 95. You know anything about that? Do y'all know anything about Standard Form 95? I'm going to show y'all in just a sec. Constitutional law. All holders of public oath of office must serve the private people. Lawful, law of the land, de jure. And then you got, so de jure and de facto. What's the difference between the two? The de jure republic. Didn't I tell him in the video, I was born in America, the republic, not in the corporation, the United States corporation, which is not a country. It's a corporation. I said I'm not from the United States. I'm not from the District of Columbia. Okay, let's keep going. Commercial law, contract law, law merchant, UCC, admiralty maritime, military tribunal, martial law, statutory legislation, public, statutory acts, bills, codes, rules, legislative instruments, corporations, legal persons, franchises, descendants, debtors, wards of the state. Then she said something about a FARA information, the federal, what is the Federal Agency Registration Act, where if they're not peace officers, then they're corporations who are under a foreign jurisdiction, to where they're not real officers. They're tyrants. They cause harm to any living soul, any living man or woman. They have to be chastised. They have to be demoted. They can lose their license. Just pulling somebody over and it's not an emergency is a fucking felony. But y'all didn't know that though. But I'm ignorant, right? I'm ignorant, right? I'm not even reading the comments. I'm trying to show factual evidence. Because I'm tired of y'all talking out of y'all ass when y'all ain't even did no type of research on what it is that you're saying. You're just talking from a standpoint of ignorance, not a standpoint of factual evidence. No law states that anyone needs a driver's license. No law states that it's required to have your car registered with the state. Back in 1993, they made it where you're not obligated to register a car. And I'm gonna show y'all some other shit that's on my page. Okay, but for now, let's keep going. Your public trust. People create governments to serve, not rule. A representative government elected freely and fairly is by definition a public trust instituted, or what's it? Yeah, instituted to serve private sovereign people in a common law jurisdiction. Such the sovereign government is an unincorporated common law assembly or a body politic, not an incorporated body corporate. The sovereign people place their trust in the governance skills of their elected representatives who are elected in the office, not into power. Your representative goes in your place. The sovereign people are the employers of the representatives and all government employees. Without exception, the employees of this public trust are public servants working for the private sovereign people who are free men and women of the nation. Everyone in the government service from your head of state, the queen who governs in the right of the people, to the lowest employee derives their limited authority from the private sovereign people, and each such public servant has a fiduciary duty to serve as a trustee for the sovereign people who are beneficiaries of the public trust, of their public trust. But you said this trust don't exist though, right? If I can recall, didn't he say the trust doesn't exist? Didn't he say that? He said a trust that doesn't exist. Let me reiterate. Hold on. Because ain't that what Buddy said? Ain't that what Buddy said though in the video? Didn't he say? Hold on.
Connected to a trust account that doesn't exist. I picture
Trust account that doesn't exist.
to get into an accident with this guy. Hey guys,
Oh, a trust account that doesn't exist. Oh. A trust account that doesn't exist. Everything is created with a trust. The birth certificate is a state trust, right? The driver's license is a trust. It's an insurance policy that's bonded. It's a contract with the state. Once you surrender that contract with the state, which I did surrender that contract with the state, I definitely did do that. You can't tell me that I didn't. If you look on my TikTok, you'll see that I surrendered my driver's license, so I automatically opted out from having to drive. That means that now I'm a free man who can travel freely. My free will to travel. No one can tell me I cannot travel in my private automobile. Right? Let's keep going. Let's keep going because y'all don't get it. Y'all don't get it, right? Y'all don't get it. Public trust are public service working in the private sovereign people who are the free men and women of the nation. Everyone in the government service, from your head of state to the queen who governs in the right of the people, to the lowest employee, derives their limited authority from the private sovereign people, and each such public servant has a fiduciary duty to serve as a trustee for the private sovereign people who are beneficiaries of the public trust. So hold on. Let's get to this part right here, though, right? Your public servants include all officers of the law. Most frontline officers, however, perform two roles. As peace officers, they uphold the law, discharging their impartial duties under oath according to the law, which is the de jure common law jurisdiction, also known as the law of the land. Notice I asked him, under what jurisdiction does he operate? He said Henderson Justice Police, or he said the city of Henderson Police. He didn't answer that question right. So what he said was redundant. The law of the land, as such, they have a fiduciary duty to serve and protect living people. I said I'm a living man of God, a God-fearing man. Didn't I say that in the video? Peace officers swear on oath to office to keep the peace and are protected by a public bond having limited liability. Did this officer keep the peace? No, the fuck he didn't. He pulled me out of the car. He violated my constitutional rights. I was kidnapped. Like I said, I was kidnapped. Okay, let's keep going. A policy officer that enforces statutes. Oh, didn't I say something about statutes? The difference between statutes and laws. Hold on. Let's keep going. Which prescribes the legal terms and conditions of contracts with penalties, etc., in the de facto admiralty maritime jurisdiction, as known as the law of the sea. This role dominates their training in time. Policy officers do not swear an oath to enforce statutes and are not protected by a public bond having unlimited full commercial liability. Police officers are either on duty under oath in the public or off duty, not under oath in the private. So I'm guessing he was off duty when he decided to violate my constitutional rights because he didn't show a badge. He didn't give me his surety bond. He didn't give me his FAR information. What that mean? Okay, let's keep going. Police officers are either on duty and under oath in the public or off duty, not under oath in the private. Conducting private commerce for your nation in admiralty maritime jurisdiction is not part of the sworn duty of a police officer. An officer conducting private commerce in support of the debt money system of bondage can be described as a private mercenary at abdicating their oath. Police officers or policy enforcer or enforcement officers have no jurisdiction over any living, breathing man or woman unless that man or woman consents to their jurisdiction. Did I consent to his jurisdiction? No, the fuck I didn't. I said, I do not operate under your jurisdiction. I never gave consent. So therefore, I must know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm sick of y'all bitch ass motherfuckers coming on my motherfucking live or talking shit, period, and y'all don't do no type of reading. You motherfuckers don't read shit. Y'all don't know shit. Y'all just talk out of y'all ass. Bro, come to Vegas, I'm gonna knock your dumb ass out. Stacking King, come to Vegas, I'm gonna knock your dumb ass out. I'm giving all y'all the facts and smoke, bro. Police, police officers as policy enforcement officers have no jurisdiction over any living, breathing man or woman unless that man or woman consents to that jurisdiction. All legal jurisdiction over a man or woman requires their consent. Did I give him consent? No, I did not. Did I give him consent? I don't think I did. No. And so all presentments from of a policy officer or police officer are service offered by consent. It's important for us to know what people think of our service. Now it says New Zealand because this was associated with New Zealand, but all the law of the land applies to all nations, not just New Zealand, not just the UK, not just like every nation that's under sovereignty. Every nation in dealing with the fact, bro, is from the UK. The fact he don't know this shit, bro. Why are you calling people sovereign citizens? You shouldn't even fix your mouth to ever call anybody a sovereign citizen if you don't know what that means. I am not an enemy of the state. I am not a terrorist. I am a living man of God. Anything else is defamation of character. Use your words wisely. Yeah, show this to Van Bullen, or should I say Van Balion, whatever the fuck his name is. Okay, it's important for us to know what the people think of our service. That's what that says. Okay, so let's go back to this policy officer, peace officer, admiralty maritime commercial jurisdiction, common law people's jurisdiction, law of the sea, law of the land, incorporated office, non-incorporated office, public contractor with no public oath for the office and bond, public servant with a public oath for office and bond. Officer breaching public oath is in dishonor. Officer upholding public oath is in honor. Private capacity, full commercial liability. Public capacity, limited liability. Law enforcement officer, peace officer class constable. Collecting revenue, performing commerce, enforcing statutory contracts. Notice say statutory contracts. Statutory contracts. Statutory contracts. Oh yeah, that's what that was. A statutory contract. That wasn't a law that he can enforce. Unless he has my consent. So you know what I did? On the last officer that pulled me over and knew that I had rights, even though he did violate them too in Vegas when I was pulled over, and I didn't even record the interaction because this man grabbed my wrist and put my phone down on the car, right? But when I got to educating their ass on all this information, guess what they did? Let me the fuck go. And guess what I did? That citation that I got, I wrote on that citation in green. I do not consent to these proceedings. I do not accept your offer to contract. Because when you're interacting with any of these officers, whether it be a peace officer or a policy officer, they have something to uphold, and they it's either a contract or it's either you're working for the people. We the people. That's we the people of this nation. Didn't it say that on the US dollar? In God we trust. The fact that in God we trust is a trust within itself. It's a trust that the United States created for the corporation. Okay? Let's keep going though. Let's keep going though. Let's keep going, bro. What that say? Law enforcement officer, peace officer, constable, collecting revenue, performing commerce, enforcing statutory contracts, keeping the peace, upholding justice, serving and protecting the people. Was he serving and protecting the people? No, the fuck he wasn't. He was too busy being a fucking tyrant. of the corporation, by the corporation, for the corporation. The corporate debt that they try to collect with those bonds, of the people, by the people, for the people. Right? The officer must establish that you are acting in the role of an artificial legal person, which is consent by joinder, in order to exercise jurisdiction over you. The officer must have probable cause or articulable reasonable suspicion that you are committing or are about to commit a crime of harm to a living soul. Was I committing a crime or harm to a living soul? I don't think I was. I think I was going about my business, but it wasn't business that I was doing. I was simply traveling, not driving. Because let me reiterate, driving means you're operating commerce or you're doing business with your vehicle. But when you're traveling on public roadways as a living man or living woman of God who cannot be governed by tyrants. That's why I asked him, who is the injured party? He said there wasn't any injured party. I'm like, okay, if there's no injured party, then what are we doing? Why would you even try to arrest me if there wasn't any injured party? No one was harmed. No one was harmed. Okay? All y'all can do is just keep talking out y'all ass. Get a book and read, motherfucker. Get a book and read. That's what I'm doing right now. Who really the ignorant one? While acting as a person, you are under contract, obliged to perform according to the terms and conditions of statutes. While a living soul, you are in the common law obliged not to cause harm or loss or fraud to other living souls. Right? Only a legal person, corporation, can be taken to court for offense. Only if there is a victim of a crime can an officer establish jurisdiction over you. Was there a victim of the crime? Did I commit any crimes? I asked him, did I commit a crime? He said, oh, yeah, you committed at least 3. But did he tell me what those 3 crimes was that I committed? No. Because last time I checked, statutes don't apply to the living. It applies to legal fictions, people who are controlled. The District of Columbia citizens, 14th Amendment citizens. Oh, ain't that U.S. citizens? Oh yeah, that is. Okay, I got all the smoke for y'all. Y'all can't even handle it. Some of y'all done left the live because y'all couldn't handle what I was talking about because I got that literature for your ass. Because I do read. I'm not a retard. For those of y'all who said I didn't finish school, I actually did. I have my what was it? What do you get when you graduate from high school? A diploma? Oh yeah, I think I got my diploma. I actually went to community college, but what I learned from going to community college in grade school, they don't teach this shit. They don't teach it. Why didn't we learn this in grade school? That's right, because they want us to be employees of a corporation. They want us to be ignorant. They don't want us to know our rights. They don't want us to be able to know that it's all about contracts in banking. The fact that the courthouse is a bank, the fact that the post office is a bank, the fact that the hospital is a bank. Everything is about banking, trust, in contracting. What you agree to and what you don't agree to. I didn't agree to consent to contract with him. Okay, let's keep going. Penalties are statutory for the legal person, so do not apply to a living man or woman. Penalties are statutory for a legal person, so do not apply to living men or women. Crimes Act 1961, Section 9. No one should be convicted for any offense at common law. De facto in practice, de jure in law. Wasn't I talking about statutes? Oh, statutes is the law. You fucking idiot. Now you know the difference. You know the fucking difference. Oh, last time I checked, retards can't read. Okay, and I'm reading, and I don't, let me just make this clear. I'm not talking down on people who have learning disabilities. No disrespect to y'all. Y'all all God's children. I would never make fun of someone or call them special ed or retarded. You know what I'm saying? Unless you come for me, like I'm gonna call you all type of names in the book. But other than that, if you're not bothering me, I won't bother you. I won't ever make fun of nobody. I won't ever talk down on nobody, especially if I don't know them personally. You ain't caused no injury to me, no harm to me. So why would I be mad or talk shit about you? Y'all get on the internet and bump y'all gums and type y'all fingers all day. Y'all type with y'all fingers all day to say a whole bunch of nothing. The police cannot stop you, question you, detain you, arrest you, search you, or charge you without your consent. The police cannot stop you, question you, detain you, arrest you, search you, or charge you without your consent. If there is no victim, ultimately the administrative courts cannot fine you or imprison you without your consent. So anytime that you go to a courthouse and they ask you, do you understand the charges that are against you? When you say yes, you're agreeing and consenting to their charges and you're under their jurisdiction now. If you say no, that's saying you do not consent to the charges as a living man of God. Okay? Let's keep reading. What does it say? What else does it say? But if any point you understand, stand under their authority. Understand, stand under their authority. Agree or to anything or give them artificial legal person name, you are consenting. The two basic types of encounters: consensual, in which you are free to leave at any time; detention, seizure, arrest, in which you are held by assertion of authority or by physical restraint against your will. That's what it was. That's exactly what it was. Detention, seizure, arrest, in which you are held by assertion of authority or by physical restraint against your will. That was against my will. Oh, yeah. In any detention, seizure, or arrest, the peace officer must have probable cause in or a reasonable suspicion that you are committing or you're about to commit a crime against a victim. The accuser bears the burden of proof to reasonably establish your crime. In any detention, seizure, arrest, the policy officer must establish that you are acting in joinder to an artificial legal person name created by the state, controlled by statutes. The officer bears the burden of establishing your freely giving consent. This is a fucking book that I'm reading. This ain't something that I made up. It's not something that I'm rambling about. It's something that I'm trying to educate y'all dumbasses on because y'all don't seem to understand how this works when it comes to interacting with a peace officer compared to interacting with a policy officer. Unless you give consent, they have no jurisdiction. If you answer to the name that's on your birth certificate or driver's license or ID, you're giving them consent. So anytime they ask you, are you Michael Lang? Are you Larry James? You ask, who's asking? You're not giving them consent because that's giving consent verbally. But I don't know shit though, right? I don't know nothing. I'm just some ignorant dude rambling, some sovereign citizen rambling, right? Dealing with assailants. Identify your assailant, their motive, and jurisdiction. Require verification of a crime. No crime equals no jurisdiction. Be polite, stay on point. Wasn't I polite and stayed on point? Did I ever yell at this man? Did I ever call him out of his name? Did I ever once get disrespectful? I remained calm. Yet again, he pulled me out of my own private automobile that I didn't give him consent to pull me out of that automobile, but he did anyway. So If he's smart, he gonna tuck his tail and run and not show up to the court hearing. If he's smart, he's gonna tuck his tail and run and not show up to the court appearance. I guarantee you. And like I said, I'm going to record the whole court hearing. Watch it get dismissed. And you want to know what else I did? And I'm gonna show y'all something else that I did. Let me show y'all something else that I did, right? Let me see if I can find it. For the ignorant imbeciles that don't know no better. So we got what's called a writ of quorum warranto. Y'all know anything about that? The writ of quorum warranto? Do you know anything about that? What that say? Notice the mandatory judicial notice. Writ of quorum warranto with proof of claim and a load of your fee schedule private. Notice the principal is notice the agent. Notice the agent is notice the principal. This is not a public communication. I put the case number, which is the bond number they're banking off of my name. Silence is acquiescence, agreement, and dishonor. This is a self-executing contract. April 21st, 2025. That's when my court hearing is. Okay. Notice what I did, right? I put my P.O. box, not my home address. Because to put a P.O. box, that means that you're under the jure republic and that you're not within their jurisdiction. Now, what I should have also did is put rule-free delivery for the zip code. I should have put that in brackets and put RFD over it or within the brackets of the zip code. Because by me putting the zip code, I'm contracting with them within their jurisdiction. So that's a mistake I made. But notice, look right here. Now right here. So I did edit this. I deleted that and I put this. Notice I put care of P.O. Box 531122, Republic of Nevada. Right? Let's continue. Hold on. Let's continue. Hold on. Let me go back because I got something for y'all. I don't know what the hell I just did. Okay, is this a smaller version? Okay, so I put care of P.O. Box 531122, Republic of Nevada, rule-free delivery 89053. Notice it's in brackets. That means you guys have no jurisdiction. I'm not consenting to your jurisdiction by using. I might be using your zip code, but that don't mean that I'm operating within your jurisdiction. No portion of this presentment is intended to harass, offend, conspire, intimidate, blackmail, coerce, or cause anxiety, alarm, or distress. Any affirmation contrary to this verified statement will comprise a confession of fraud upon the agency of court where such representation is made. This writ will serve as a evidence and testimony for and on the record of the administrative proceeding. The claimant's sole intention is to honorably satisfy all verified claims to the complete satisfaction of all parties, close all counts, and make all parties whole. Claimant is a peaceful, neutral, non-combatant, Artrathon, American mural, or more with respect to the corporate United States. Notice how they spell more. They didn't spell it with an O. They spell it with two U's. Look up that word. Do me a solid and look up that word, okay? One as Michael Lane, full life properius persona sui juris in lex, does affirm and say that one of the Asian majority incompetent to state the facts and make the claims herein, this affidavit will serve as evidence and testimony for the record and on record to be into the record and will be labeled Exhibit A. One affirms under penalties of perjury that this document is true, correct, and complete to the best of one's hand knowledge. No third parties allowed. Greetings, Judge Byrd. Rodney T. I will accept your offer to attend your proceedings by the way of special appearance. There are a few things, though, that need to be cleared up as jurisdiction, among other things. So, in order to be clear in this matter, I have a few questions. There are term proof of claim. Proof of claim that Article 3 court with an Article 3 judge presiding. Proof of claim that this is a court of competent jurisdiction, one that can hear law or rational. Proof of claim that you have a verified complaint sworn affirmed under penalty of perjury by one of the people. Proof of claim that I will have a trial by jury and not by jury trial. Proof of claim that I will be able to confront any accuser or not third-party representative. Proof of claim that there is an injured party in this matter, that a crime has been committed. Proof of claim that one is unalienable liberties will protect under substantial civilian due process by the Constitution 1787. Matters to judicially notice. The following documents will be needed in order to go forward in this matter. The court public hazard bonds in this case. The oath's office, loyalty oaths, and surety bond information of all participating in this procedure. Delegation of authority of the court. A verified complaint from an accuser along with a sworn affidavit. All tax bonds, receipts 1099 RID, 1099A, 1090C, or 1099C, and W-9 tax documents 26 USC 2032 AE11. Authorization from Internal Revenue Service to go forward with the case. So I put all the case numbers. So this is the old one. The one that I edited has all the case numbers because I'm going to show y'all in just a sec the bond numbers that they created against my estate, which caused injury to my estate because you're banking off my name and you have no permission. I never gave you consent to bank off my name. Because didn't it say in that book that you have to give consent to even contract with these people? Because he wasn't a peace officer. Because no peace officer acts incompetent like the way he did. My allodial fee schedule. Failure to honor oath of office, that's a $20,000 fee schedule. Failure to honor constitutional loyalty oath, that's a $20,000 fee schedule. Acting as a judge, one who can hear law, a $100,000 fee schedule. Seizing and detaining private property. What did they do? Seize and detain my private property, including my body. Also, then my private automobile that they taken without my consent. And then what they did was I brought proof of ownership along with my trust documents. They said they wasn't valid documents. They said that I couldn't use that to show proof of ownership. Not only did they have that, but they had the keys to my house. They had the keys to my house, saying that I couldn't get the keys to my house without showing proof of ownership. What does the keys to my apartment that I live in now have to do with proof of ownership of an automobile? That show you how much bullshit they was on. They were supposed to give me my keys to my apartment and my P.O. box. Let's keep going. Court special appearance. 10,000 per spec app. For every 10 minutes in attendance, a personal appearance bond must be present at the administrative procedure. So that's 2,500. So every bond that they created to bank off my name, I need 2,500 for. They created 4 bonds. They created 4 bonds. And I'm going to show y'all. We're going to look it up in public records. Demand for identification and credentials, quo warranto, the name of the officer and the badge number. This is a formal request to command for all to produce for the record the physical documentation of your delegation of authority as proof of jurisdiction as required by law pursuant to Article 3, Section 1 of the United States Republic Constitution. This administrative notice and demand is not intended to hinder, delay, obstruct, intimidate, harass, or any way threaten anyone, but it's simply a means of invoking recipient's duty to act pursuant to the below quoted instructions, laws, cases, and statutes, which apply to the recipient and recipient's official capacity for lawful disclosure of vitally needed information, or vitally needed information, Should recipient not timely and fully comply, it will be deemed by tacit procuration your implied consent to a challenge pursuant to petition of writ of quo warranto 63 AM Juror 2nd 5441. So your authority in a court of correct jurisdiction, information needed, oath of office, Title 5 USC Section 331, Office of Affidavit, Title 5 USC Section 332, and or employee affidavit, Title 5 USC Section 333, surety bond, Title 5 USC Section 2901, registration, Title 22 USC Section 611 and 612, res judicata, Higgins vs. Levine, 415 U.S. 533. There is no discretion to ignore the lack of jurisdiction. Joyce vs. U.S. 4742D215. The law provides that one state and federal jurisdiction has been challenged and it must be proven. Martin vs. DeBart, 100S Court 2501, 1980. Jurisdiction can be challenged At any time in jurisdiction, once challenge cannot be assumed and must be decided. Beso versus Utah Power Light Company 49F.2D906910. Public hazard bonding of corporate agents. All the officials are required by federal, state, and municipal law to provide the name, address, and telephone number of their public hazard and malpractice bonding company and policy number of the bond, if required, a copy of the policy describing the bonding coverage of their specific job they are performing. Failure to provide this information constitutes corporate and limited liability insurance fraud. 15 U.S.C. in prim facie, evidence and grounds to impose a lien upon an official personally to secure their public oath in service of office. 18 U.S.C. 9112. Whoever having taken an oath before competent tribunal, officer, or person in any case in which the law of the United States authorizes an oath to be administered, willfully and contrary to such oath states or subscribes any material matter which he does not believe to be true is a guilty of perjury and shall be fined no more than $2,000 or in prison not more than 5 years or both. 18 U.S.C. Section 1621. 18 U.S.C. Section 1651. Piracy under the law of nations. Whoever in high seas commits the crime of piracy as defined by a family of nations and is afterwards brought into or found in the United States shall be imprisoned for life. All rights and liberties reserved by authorized representative without the U.S. So without the United States Corporation. USC, right? Notice it says by. By me signing my name, I signed it in red or I could sign it in green. So I'm gonna show y'all a video as to why I was signing in red. Red means you're living. Green means you're operating in peace, not law of war. So I'm gonna go to my business page. I'm gonna go to my business page real quick. Hold on. I'm gonna go to my business page because I need to educate y'all ignorant motherfuckers on something. Okay, hold on. Let me show y'all something. This is the paperwork of my car that was impounded. A Jaguar S-Type 2002 model. Isn't that my registration? Even though it says incomplete application, the registration was still paid for. What does that say? Michael Lane Living Trust, right? What's the address for that Living Trust? My P.O. Box. What does the P.O. Box represent? The de jure republic. Okay. But I don't know shit, right? I don't know shit, right? Let me keep educating you ignorant motherfuckers. Hold on.
Secrets. Value-added tax for vehicles. Value-added tax. That is derived as a percentage of the property's value which is then added to every purchase or transfer of a registered automobile, boat or motorized vehicle. When one obtains property and redeems lawful money, the value of property is no longer bonded and can be classified as private. At the registration office, county clerk and recorder, a question will be raised regarding how much was paid for the property so an amount of tax can be assessed. But when one consistently responds, that is private, only the fees to get the property registered with plates is then levied. Note, sales tax refunds exemptions are impossible. That's the secret. This is because the sales tax is a misnomer. It is not a tax on the buyer, but on the seller, who transfers it by tradition onto the buyer. Since the seller must pay the sales tax, it is often added into the final price. There is no obligation for the buyer to pay the sales tax except that most retailers think there is. This faux pas will continue until the end of time. So do not attempt to redeem sale taxes with lawful money. Lawful money terms and various.
Oh, okay. So I don't need to register my car. I don't need to register my car. When it's private property, I don't need to register my car. Okay. Okay. Let me see something else. Let me see what else I can find for you ignorant motherfuckers.
Or all rights reserved. These 1-308 alterations would prevent the fraud that the Social Security Administration and other companies require to work their legal fictitious debt instrument magic. This is why they reject all paperwork that properly has such alterations. Thus, we see the effectiveness of using terms like without prejudice and all rights reserved by the fact that the Social Security Administration explicitly rejects their use. However, the UN military courtrooms posing as our local courts relate to UCC Section 1-308 in a different way because they do seem to be ignoring exercise of this code with complete impunity. Here's what it is and why. Uniform Commercial Code Section 1-308 is titled The Performance or Acceptance Under Reservation of Rights, and it provides, Part A, a party that with explicit reservation of rights performs or promises performance or assents to performance in a manner demanded or offered by the other party does not thereby prejudice the rights reserved. Such words as without prejudice or under protest or the like are sufficient. Using without prejudice, under duress, all rights reserved, and the like has 5 problems. First, by using UCC Section 1-308, we are acknowledging and consenting to the commercial jurisdiction and being party to performance of a contract with a specific manner demanded and offered. Second, by using it, we are acknowledging that we are the legal presence artificial person being presumed rather than being identified as a living man or woman. Third, the legal presence fictitious person doesn't have any actual rights to reserve. It only has revocable privileges, and those in legalese can be referred to as rights, but they are not actual proper God-given reservable rights. Fourth, confusing the legal presence artificial person as if it were you is legally incompetent, making any so-called rights impossible to reserve using UCC Section 1-308 alone. And lastly, subsection...
I'm gonna show y'all something else too. Hold on. Look.
Subsection A does not apply to an accord and satisfaction, end quote. Especially when the accord, otherwise known as an agreement, and its satisfaction or its performance is for you to be the accommodation surety for and as a legal fictional artificial person that doesn't have any reservable rights, but again, only has revocable privileges.
I don't have privileges. I have God-given rights.
Is a trap by itself. If it works, it is selective and unlawfully unreliable and intermittent. However, if and when used, it should be used in the context of Part 4, UCC Section 3-402B1, signature by authorized representative. This is a very powerful code to use with our signature. This code changes our relationship to agreements being made to that of an attorney in fact, where the default relation is not what we want, especially to reserve our rights. UCC Section 3-402B1 disavows that you, the living man or woman, are liable and party to the agreement or contract, even when the legal presence artificial person is still presumed to be liable and party. Pretty powerful, eh? By the way, this is a global solution because Uniform Commercial Code is universally adopted by all UN member states, just like international copyright. First, some background. Have you ever noticed any micro-printing below the signature location on checks or money orders? It looks like a line, but zooming in...
I ain't gonna say too many threats, Stacky King.
Over and over.
Bro, talk is cheap, bro. Talk is cheap, my nigga.
The meaning is found.
Either you gonna do something or you gonna shut your bitch ass up. Stand on business.
Providing, if the represented person is bound, the signature of the representative is the, quote, authorized signature of the represented person, end quote, and the represented person is liable on the instrument, whether or not identified in the instrument. This implies that we, as representative, sign in place of and for the legal presence artificial person being made liable and compelled to perform without rights. Under subsection B2, the code intends the authorized representative to also be liable on the instrument by default. When the represented person is not identified in the contract or instrument, or when the signature does not show unambiguously that the signature is made in a representative capacity, the representative is liable. This is the opposite of subsection B1 that provides the signature must show unambiguously that it is made in a representative capacity of the represented person identified, and then the representative is not liable on the instrument. Again, the representative is not liable on the instrument or agreement or its performance when specified, and the representative can be a living man or woman, particularly with non-legal identity papers. This divorces the living man or woman from the legal presence artificial person by making ourselves the authorized representative acting on behalf of the legal presence artificial person rather than appearing or manifesting as the legal presence artificial person. A statutory general durable power of attorney will do the same thing in paper.
Okay. So when I signed this, hold on, we looking at the paperwork from when they booked me, right? It says City of Henderson, Nevada versus Lang Michael, right? It says mandatory return court date on April 21st, 2025 at 9 a.m. That's when they tell him Michael Lang or Lang Michael, the artificial person, has to be at that court appearance. The writ of court warranto, I'm telling jurisdiction like, hey, look, I'm not that person. I'm not a legal fiction. I'm not the artificial person that's on my birth certificate and my social security card. I'm the implied surety beneficiary heir of Michael Lang. So when I make a court appearance, I'm making a special appearance because I'm letting them know I'm correcting the presumption that I'm an artificial person or corporation that they thought I was. Okay. In that video, it said something about when you sign an X near, when they put an X near your name, it's saying that you're civilly dead. If you circle the X, it's saying that you're not civilly dead. Now, notice I put, now I don't know where the Y at, but it was supposed to be BY colon Michael Lane without recourse. Then I put UCC 3-402. To say that I'm a living man of God, I am not consenting to any of these proceedings. So if I decide I don't want to show up to court, I do not have to show up to court because I'm not consenting to contract with them. But I will make an appearance once they acknowledge my writ of court warranto to challenge jurisdiction to make sure that it is an Article 3 or Article 4 court and not an administrative court. I bet you none of you dumbasses know the difference between an Article 3 court and administrative court. Answer below or shut the fuck up. So let me school you dumb motherfuckers. The difference between an Article 3 court and a administrative court. One is based off contracts, the other is based off the jury of your peers. But you being a living man of God, you only can attend an Article 3 court because Article 3 to Article 4 is for the living. It's a court of equity. That's what an Article 3 court, a court of equity, which means that it's based off the Constitution, not off of contracts. The original Constitution, to be exact. But y'all didn't know that though, but y'all still want to talk out of y'all ass. But y'all don't know nothing about nothing. I educated myself. So that's all I wanted to say because I'm sick of y'all coming for me like I don't know nothing. Like I'm just ignorant to the fact. Like I'm just incompetent. Like I'm just some dude on the internet that's just talking that sovereign citizen bullshit. You ain't studied no literature. You ain't never even knew nothing about what I just shared with you. I do my homework and proper due diligence because if I don't, they can railroad me. Every time I step in court, I need to be paid for that. That's why I get my low to your fee schedule every time. And my writ of court warranto every time. Because I ain't taking none of that. So when I show up to court and I record the whole court hearing, matter of fact, I might just go live. I might just go live on YouTube for that court appearance just to shut some of y'all up so y'all can see how I represent myself in court as a living man of God who has the right to travel freely. I'm done. I said all I have to say. None of y'all can shut me up. If you can't shut me up with proof of whatever you're saying, everything you're saying is out of context. If you can't shut me up with proof of claim for all that you're saying, what you're saying is out of context and it doesn't stand ground. It's this ignorance of the law. You don't know nothing about the law of the land. You think that you're supposed to be a law-abiding citizen. Go ahead and be a law-abiding citizen or a District of Columbia citizen. That's you. That don't mean that I have to do that. That don't mean that I have to, no, sir. No, ma'am. No, master. That don't mean I got to answer to them. Who the fuck is they? I just read a bunch of literature to y'all. Y'all still think this shit is a game. Y'all still think this shit is funny, bro. None of y'all gonna get on this live and talk though. And I made it where anybody can get on my live or YouTube and talk to me. Is you gonna do it though? No, because y'all pussies. All y'all can do is hide behind keyboards and talk shit that you never gonna back up. Like stacking kings. Stacking king, bro. I can't wait for us to cross paths. I can't wait for us to cross paths. Come on to Vegas. Like back up what you saying, brother. Come on, socket. Bah, bah, like boom, 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 nigga. Boom, boom, boom. Knock your dumb ass out. Stop playing with me, bro. I'll really knock your dumb ass out. I'll two-piece your shit. I'll give you that two-piece biscuit with a combo around this bitch, nigga. Fuck you talking about? Boy, ain't nobody playing with your dumb ass. You better back the fuck up before you get smacked the fuck up. Fuck wrong with you niggas, man? Niggas playing with a nigga, bro. Stop playing with my gangster, bro. Like I won't turn up on one of you bitch-made ass niggas, bro. Y'all, like, I be humble, bro. I be humble, and I be not trying to bump my guns on the internet, bro, because I don't do that internet shit. I don't like talking shit on the internet. I don't like people talking shit to me. But one thing I am gonna do is back up what the fuck I'm gonna say I'm gonna do. If you know me from high school, y'all already know how I get down. I just learned to just try to keep the peace and don't touch nobody unless they threaten me or say they're gonna do something to me. If you never threaten me, we good. You can talk all the shit you want, but you ain't gonna do shit. You ain't gonna even bust a grape, my nigga. Fuck is you talking about? You ain't gonna bust a grape, my nigga. This ain't no AI. I don't use AI. I use ChatGPT sometimes when I need information. Oh yeah. I want to show y'all something else before I get off this live. I'm gonna show y'all something else before I get off this live. So anytime an officer cause harm to your estate and you did not consent to his proceedings to contract with him, what do? I bet you none of y'all know what to do. Oh, I do. You file a tort claim. So where do you file that tort claim? Let's ask ChatGPT. Let's ask ChatGPT where you file a tort claim. So we on ChatGPT right now, right? You know what? I'm just gonna type it. Where do I file a tort claim on a federal level? Because when they violate your constitutional rights, that's federal. It's considered a felony for that officer if you didn't consent. So it says step by step, filing a federal tort claim. Fill out standard form 95. This is a form used to file claims for money damages against the U.S. government for injury, death, or property loss caused by a federal employee's negligence. You can get it here. Standard form 95 PDF. Okay? So it says for step 2, include these key details: your contact info, date, time, place of incident, a detailed explanation of what happened, the legal basis for your claim, negligence, the amount of money you're claiming, and damages. You must list a specific dollar amount in your signature. Step 3, submit the claim to correct the federal agency. You must send the completed standard form 95 to the federal agency whose employee or action caused your injury/damage. For example, if it involves U.S. Postal Service, you send it to the USPS. It's about the VA, you send it to the VA. So I bet y'all didn't know that the post office had their own sheriff and that they're under their own jurisdiction. I bet you didn't know a police officer, like basically the post office has higher authority than a regular peace officer, which means if you cause harm to one of their employees, like a mailman or whoever, oh yeah, they gonna lay the law of the land on your ass. See, but me having what's called an EPS trust account, if I would have put a stamp on the back of my ID and I handed it to that officer, that's saying that I'm simply delivering the mail. Doesn't mean I'm operating commerce, somewhat, to a certain extent, but it means that I'm protected. Because you cannot violate a mailman. No policy officer or peace officer has jurisdiction over the mail or a mailman. It's considered a felony. Okay. Now, as far as where you can file, like when it's on a federal level, where you can file the standard form 95, you do it with the what's called the Department of Justice Civil Rights Division tort branch. I can give y'all the address because I literally sent off my surety bond, standard form 95, for the injury that officer caused to my estate. But who am I? I'm just some guy on the internet. I don't know nothing, right? I don't know nothing. Okay. Let's see. Let's see if I don't know nothing. The tort branch. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me type that in. Let me type in the address and let y'all see it. So we use the chat GPT. What's the tort branch address for the Department of Justice? Y'all didn't know nothing about the tort branch, huh? I spelled justice wrong. Hold on. I think I still spelled it wrong. Oh well. It'll correct me. No, the fuck it's not. No, it's not. So this is the address right here. The first one. The U.S. Postal Service mail use P.O. Box 888, Benjamin Franklin Station, Washington, D.C., 244. That's where you send it to. And you want to make sure that you include that you're addressing the tort branch. That's where you send the standard form 95 to this address right here. This one right here. This one right here. Hold on. You said it doesn't say tort branch. Okay. Let me show you something else. Right? It doesn't say tort branch. You're right. But I'm going to show y'all something. 1 second. Give me a second. I'm going to. My bad. He said that's fraud, sir. What's fraud? Who you talking to? You're a failure. Okay. So what I'm about to show y'all right now is the information that you need to know. Information that you need to know. Hold on. I wasn't even trying to do that. Like, why the hell did it show as a... Oh, let me go to my gallery. Fuck is that? Oh, that shit disappeared. The fuck going on? Okay, here we go. Let me hold it up. Matter of fact, let me put it on the little shit right here so y'all can see it. So look, what that say? I use ChatGPT submitting to the Department of Justice if the officer is under DOJ like an FBI, U.S. Marshal, U.S. Department of Justice, Torts Branch, Civil Division, P.O. Box 888, Benjamin Franklin Station, Washington, D.C. 2004. Wasn't that the same address that I just showed y'all? It just didn't say Tort Branch. But I looked it up with ChatGPT. That's how I got that address. That's how I addressed it. So, for y'all who don't know, stop talking out y'all ass, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna record. You sound like a troll from the Lord of the Rings. Shut your bitch ass up, Stacks King. Faking the Tort Branch address is fraudulent, sir. So you mean to tell me the Chat GBT is fraudulent? So they just giving false information, right? They just give Chat GBT just giving false information, right? Oh, okay. Yeah, but this the main one. This is for the Department of Justice, the Civil Rights Division. So I don't know what I'm talking about though, right? Oh, bet. Okay, so let's get down to the nitty gritty. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put my iPad up real quick, and we're gonna look up the bond numbers for a court case. The court case where they stole my car and they kidnapped me. So what I'm gonna do, because it's in the Henderson Municipal Court, I'm gonna look that up real quick. Hold on. So we're gonna type in Henderson Municipal Court. It shows the address, right? So we're gonna go to the website. We're gonna go to the website, and then we're gonna look up online records. Online records. Okay. We're gonna scroll down. We're gonna click here. Okay. Now we're gonna look up my name. Lane, because you put the last name first and the first name last. Lane Michael. Let's look that up. That's how I found out who the judge name was. So they created 4 different bonds against my name. Lane Michael. Criminal. They treated it all like a criminal case. Operating vehicle with expired registration in place. Obstruct a public officer. Driving with suspended driver's license. Operating proof of insurance required. None of that are laws. That I didn't break a law. They treated it like a criminal case. Who is the judge? Let's see who the judge is. Burr Rodney T. That's who I addressed in the court chambers. Burr Rodney T. So, with all these bonds that was created to bank off my name, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm going to file a 1099A and a 1099B to do a audit on all those bonds. And I'm gonna get all my money back that they took from my estate that was created in my name. Yeah, I said it was a fake judge the first time. You want to know why? And let me take y'all. So this is for Innocent Municipal Court. The other court hearing was for Henderson Justice Court. So let's look up Henderson Justice Court because that's still in public records. They wasn't showing who the judge name was for the eviction. So Henderson Justice Court. Oh, that's on South Water Street, just like Henderson Municipal Court, because they all within the same. One is on the bottom, and one is on the top. Okay, so what we doing? We looking up the court case for the eviction. Click here. So what I'm gonna do, because the fact I'm renting in my business name, right? So I'm gonna type in a company name instead of my name. Print Press Vending. Print Press Vending. INC. Let's see if anything pop up. Oh, it's only one. This is the bond number that they created. Guess what I did? I filed a 1099-B. What that say? Closed. What does it say? The tenant, Print Press Vending Incorporated. Does it say Michael Lang anywhere? Oh no, I'm renting out of my business name. This apartment I have is in my business name, not in my name. Oh, okay. So let's look at this. This the video I made. So eviction landlord filing fees, self-prepared from receipt. Landlord's complaint for summary eviction, eviction granted order sent to constable, motion to stay filed, and forward to Chambers Constable's office notified via email. Motion to set aside cancel order from summary eviction and seal case file and forwarded to Chambers. Additional documents in support of bill of quia, timid request for protection with supporting what's that say? Memorandum of law received from tenant at front counter. G notified. So what I was supposed to do, I was supposed to send that as registered restricted mail. The bill of quia. Look that up. The bill of quia. BILL of quia. Look that up. That's in regards to evictions. Look. Why it say eviction rescinded? Did you calling me broke, bro? Oh, I'm broke? Bro. Lord Ant-Man, I'll slap the shit out of your dumb ass, bro. Shut your bitch ass up, bro. Get off my live. Y'all keep talking shit. I done showed y'all all factual evidence. All facts. Ain't no fiction. Order rescinded with previous order for summary eviction forward to Chambers. Order rescinded previous orders for summary eviction granted, signed and filed. Rescinded order granted. Okay. I'm renting under my business name. Every apartment that I've ever had, except for one. When I was in community college, I had one apartment that I had in my name that my mom co-signed for. Right? That was the very first apartment I had. It was a studio apartment. My rent was $385 a month. I wish rent was still like that, but due to inflation, all the rent prices went up, which we know, right? So I've had about 4 different apartments that I've rented under different corporation names. Always touching money Inc. That was like I went like so. If you look on the timeline of my TikTok, right? Matter of fact, let's go to my TikTok right now. Look on the timeline of my TikTok, and let's see. Let's see. So this is my TikTok. If y'all want to follow me, go ahead and follow me. If you're gonna be a tyrant or a fucking pest, do not follow me on TikTok. Cause I don't need none of you haters from YouTube coming to my TikTok talking shit. So look at this. So as usual, what I'm gonna do is put where my signature is supposed to go. Put I do not accept your offer of contract. I do not consent to these proceedings. In the affidavit that I had wrote, I'm going to get notarized either with a private notary, like a sworn signature, or go to my bank, and they should be able to do it without a problem. So, yeah. I wrote it in big letters too on the citation, but I didn't. Man, y'all just a bunch of trolls on this damn fucking platform, bro. Y'all ain't got nothing better else to do. Y'all don't know shit. Y'all don't know y'all head from y'all ass, bro. Y'all just be talking out of it. So, this is the apartment complex I live in now. Some of my videos that's on YouTube is on my TikTok. I mostly be on TikTok. I barely be on fucking YouTube like that. I just started getting back on YouTube. Look at all these videos though, right? All these videos on my TikTok. I bet y'all didn't know that the $5, $1, $2 stamps are backed by gold. You can buy them from the post office. That's considered lawful money. What that say? One thing, okay, a lot of y'all don't know, but you can get a form from the DMV to where you have what's called power of attorney over your private vessel or your private automobile. When you have power of attorney over your private automobile, no man can take your private property. No man can take it because you have power of attorney over it. When you register your car with the DMV, the state has power of attorney over it. It's considered their property, property of the state. But when you request power of attorney over your vessel, when you request power of attorney over your vessel, no man can trespass you. But they trespassed me, so they broke a law. That's a felony within itself. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to just show y'all. I'm trying to show y'all something. My car is in the possession of Snap Towing in Henderson. That's where it's at right now. But after this court appearance that I make, I'm going to get my car back. And not only that, I'm going to get paid to be able to buy a whole brand new car. So this is the apartment that I got evicted out of. You show us how dumb you are. Thanks for the entertainment. Nah, I didn't show shit that was dumb about how I articulated myself. What was dumb is the fact that y'all kept on giving your bitch ass opinions that never did I ask for, to try to make it seem like you're above me and that you're smarter than me, but you're not. Because you don't even read. Your dumb ass don't even read. Yeah, I actually already do got to turn on to this apartment complex, but I just got to change the unit. So I use business credit to get this apartment, to furnish my whole apartment. I use my business credit card with Sam's Club. Imagine you start your very first business and you get it well established to where you don't have to show proof of income for an apartment that you move in on a corporate lease, and also getting a high credit limit credit card that doesn't require your social. This your EIN. The thing is, y'all be trying to insult people intelligence and try to make them look small, to make yourself feel big. That's what I have a problem with. When you guys try to belittle people and talk shit just to make it, shows that how much of a dumbass you are, how you really feel about yourself, because how you talk to people and treat people is a reflection of how you feel about yourself. And from the look of it, y'all wasn't loved by y'all parents. Y'all parents neglected y'all or mistreated y'all because y'all bullying other people who ain't did nothing to you, ain't caused no harm to you. But you on my live feed talking shit and being a fucking asshole for no reason. Did I come on your YouTube channel and talk shit or belittle you? No, I didn't. Did I ever speak ill will of your, other than you attacking my character? That's the only thing I did. When you start some shit, I'm gonna finish it because I ain't got time for your nonsense. Yeah, okay. You keep on with the insults. That's all you good for, piece of shit. Only thing you have a right to be is a fucking jackass. And that's exactly what you are. Your mother should have swallowed you. Your mother should have shitted you out in the toilet. Because you a piece of shit. All you do is talk shit and try to make people feel small. That's all you good for. You're a fucking imbecile. All y'all that's coming from me, y'all can go to hell, bro. I don't care. But I just educated every last person on this feed that tried to insult my intelligence. I just educated every person on this feed that tried to insult my intelligence. Nice try, Diddy. Bye. I'm out this bitch. Y'all can talk to yourself.